Alright, I was just thinking about something that happened last night. It was upsetting. And it reminded me of, I went to this festival once, and I was with this person that was just starting to complain about, like say the weather. It was raining. And they're just complaining about the weather on and on and on. And I said, yeah, or you could just have a good time. Like my pointing out that like you can't change the weather, so why don't you just enjoy yourself? Stop your complaining. But last night I was having a great time. I went out to a book signing and got to meet the author, and I was really excited about that and about the book. I went out with a couple friends, and we had drinks and food, and it was just really a perfect evening. And I came home and I grabbed a bottle of Mickey's and went out to my shed, and I was like just happy and excited and content. And I was listening to some really beautiful classical music on the radio, and Akila was running around the backyard in the dark having a great time. And I hear dogs barking, and the sound that even as I turned off the radio, I knew what the sound was. The sound was one human being beating on another in almost silence. Like Fight Club described it as like the sound of like the wet slapping sound of packing meat, which doesn't quite describe it, but it's pretty close. So I walk over to my fence, and there's my neighbor has his adult children living with him. They look like they're in their mid-20s. Maybe grandchildren, actually, because he's really old. I don't know. But what I assume is the stepson, not stepson, the son-in-law was, there was a man on the ground. The son-in-law was kicking him. And had been kicking him since I was listening to music and slowly walking across my yard. Then, I don't know, like, they all moved to the front yard, and there's yelling, and cars are starting up, and the grandfather calls the police, and he has it on speakerphone, basically giving his family a heads up to run for it, but yet also calling the cops on them. And then, the cops came, and they left, and the ambulance came, and fire truck came. And I went back to the shed, and like I was agitated, and Akil was agitated, and I thought, well, I'll just go back, to listening to my music and reading my books, and I just couldn't. It was like thinking about my friend that just couldn't enjoy themselves while it was raining. I know the difference between complaining about raining and then being deeply affected by physical violence, especially having seen so much of it. I think that's probably the problem. I've witnessed too many people trying to hurt each other. And it was hard to shake off, and today I was I felt so today's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's sunny out and everything like that, and I have work to do. I have to go start taking apart the tiny house, which is a little stressful. But now I'm kind of thinking it might be nice to have it take my mind off things. Every once in a while, you talk with somebody, they're like, God, people. And the thing is, there are people out there that their day really can be ruined by the rain. There's people out there that find themselves assaulting somebody. They're helpless to their impulses. It would be nice if that wasn't the case, because if people weren't helpless to their impulses, then maybe I wouldn't be helpless to emotional reactions to things like violence. But then would you not want that? Like I was talking about Blade Runner, like would you want to be able to unplug your emotions, or say like, okay, that emotion was a signal that was an unpleasant encounter, but now the unpleasant encounter is gone, so like the signal could go away, kind of like the heat of a burner would like warn you you're going to burn your hand, but the next day you don't still need to feel the heat on your hand. So maybe like feeling the emotion the next day, maybe I want to say that's not necessary, but maybe that, because I feel it the next day, maybe that's why my impulses don't control me, because I know the long-lasting repercussions.